Hi everyone, my name is Burak Taspinar and I'm working as a product and solutions expert at Google Ireland. And today I'm going to share some best practices on how to maximize your profitable conversions, or in other words, how to optimize for performance in AdWords search campaigns. When we think about factors that determine success in AdWords, we can group them in 6 topics. And each one of them is very important. Not one single one is not more important than the other. And if there's a problem in one of these, that will have a negative impact on the success of your AdWords campaigns. For example, landing page and website experience is very important, because if the landing page doesn't give any trust to the user, then even if you have the best keywords or creatives in your account, the user will probably not convert on your website. Attribution is important because if you do not give the correct credit to AdWords on your return on investment or your conversions from AdWords, then you will be measuring it in a wrong way. Campaign settings are important because they determine the way how your ads get delivered. And for example, if you have wrong location and language settings, then you might be losing out money and not reaching out to those users that's in your targeted or perfect location. Targeting method is what we mean by keywords in search campaigns or in display. This could be keyword, managed placements, topics, or interests, such as affinity audiences or in-market audiences. Bidding is important. That determines the ad slot, the ad position on search, and that has a profound impact on your AdWords results. And we will cover that in the coming slides. Creatives are, of course, important. They are the first moment that the users see your ads, they see your offers, and they decide whether to click and go to your website or not. Once I was having a chat with the search director of a large agency, and he said that they wish they had a big red button like this in the AdWords campaigns, so that when they press it, everything will be optimized at once. Conversions will go skyrocket, CPAs will go down near zero. And I said, yes, we wish that too, but unfortunately, we don't have such a big red button at the moment. But the good news is that we have small gray buttons in your user interface that you can press and get some good insights as different reports or different tools. So I'm going to share some of these today and share some best practices, how we can use them effectively. So today we will talk about correct tracking of conversions, and location and language settings and account structure, and finally best practices for keywords, creatives, and bids. Let's start with conversion tracking tips. I'm sure you all know how conversion tracking works or how to set it up, but there are 2 very important settings at this stage of setting up the conversion tracking. The first one is count. Here you choose whether to count all conversions or only unique conversions. For all conversions, that, as the example says in the screen, if one ad click leads to 3 purchases, that will count as 3 conversions. If you select unique conversions, and this will write as only 1 conversion in the user interface. We should be counting all conversions if all transactions from a unique user is important for your business. For example, this could be an e-commerce business where a single user might make successive 3 purchases, and each of these 3 purchases are important for your business because for each time they're paying money. But for example, if you are a lead generation business, such as a real estate company that's collecting forms and information such as names and numbers so that their call center will call the user back, duplicate web forms submitted by the same user will not be valuable because they will contain the same number and same names. So in that case, we should be looking at and counting unique conversions. The other important setting is conversion windows. If you have a product or service that has a long purchase cycle, for example, this could be a mortgage application, then you would probably want to select 90 days. This is the maximum possible as a conversion window, because it's not easy or it's not very short to decide on a mortgage application, on which institution to apply, and so on. On the other hand, if you have a smaller conversion window product or service, then you can go less than 30 days and select it. view-through conversion window is important. Then that's not applicable to search campaigns, but on display it is very important. It shows the number of conversions that happened after a user saw your ad from impressions and not clicks, and you can select that window of view-through conversions. And bear in mind, this view-through conversion window does not include, or this conversion number does not include the conversions from your search ads or display ads. It is deduplicated, and it only contains conversions after a user saw your ad on display network, then came directly to your website or from another source and completed the conversion cycle. When we look at the conversion metric definitions, converted clicks are like unique conversions in the two screens ago. In the past, this was called as one per click conversions, and relatively new, its name has changed to converted clicks. And be careful with the name. We are not measuring conversions here. We are measuring clicks that happened, that brought at least one or more conversions. So if you're interested in conversions or transactions from a unique user, then you should be looking at this one. In the lead generation business example, if we think about that, this business would be interested in the converted clicks because they want to see conversions or the action, whatever conversion action they're using, from a unique user. On the other hand, if we have a business that's interested in all transactions from a unique user, then they should be looking at conversions. And they are not added by default, so you need to go to this account, to all of the accounts, and under Customize Columns button, you need to select conversions and add conversions, cost divided by conversions, and conversion rate for the conversions metric. I remember there was a client who were getting leads, web forms, but they were interested in conversions. So being a lead generation business doesn't always mean that you should be looking at converted clicks. Sometimes you need to track conversions, because in that case, they were a wedding planner company, and they were interested in different web form submissions from the same user because they were offering 10 different types of services. For example, they were offering renting banquets, ballrooms, wedding photography services, wedding food services, dessert services. So one person could one day submit a form about renting a ballroom. Another day can submit a form on wedding photography services. Another day something else. So that is why just think about the specific business case and act accordingly and find the best solution for that business model. Finally, we have estimated total conversions. This is very, very important because this shows you the correct or more accurate attribution picture. This shows the user path that's generated from a mobile device and ended up on desktop or tablet and converted on desktop or tablet. And we can estimate the additional conversions that the user started this journey from mobile device, then ended and converted on desktop, and we can pretty much estimate these accurately and add them in estimated total conversions. This is very important for you to see the whole picture. Now we have location and language settings tips. It sounds pretty easy, right? Pretty simple. Okay, what's the matter with location and language? Should be pretty simple. We just add the country and language. It shows there, right? Well, not quite right. I like to ask this question in my trainings, and because I get so many wrong answers, I keep asking this question in all the trainings that I do. So our question is, can a user located in the country X and searching on Google domain of country Y see ads from a campaign targeting country Y with default location setting targets? I know the question is a bit too long, and I'll rephrase this question with a real-life example in the image below, as you can see. I am located in Ireland right now, and I'm using Google Turkey's domain, google.com.tr. I'm using Turkish keywords, erken rezervasyon, which means early booking. And my user interface language at Google is Turkish. That's the last line. Web görseller, videolar, haberler. The question is, I'm in Ireland. Am I going to see ads that are targeting only and only Turkey. And those campaign settings location options is default location setting. I can feel the answers, I guess. The answer is yes. I'm based in Ireland, and I am going to see ads from campaigns that are targeting only Turkey, because their default location target setting is actually, in fact, at the country level, when we're talking about Turkey, France, UK, it is, in fact, Google domain targeting. Not physical country targeting, but Google domain targeting, which means that if your campaign location setting is UK, and it's the default location, if a user is based in South Africa or Zimbabwe or Alaska, and if they are using Google co.uk and your keywords, obviously, they will be able to see your ads. Because as I said, default location targeting is in fact Google domain targeting, not the physical country targeting. And if we read the lines in the advanced location options, it says people in, searching for, or who show interest in my targeted location. And the domain part targeting is that's about this who show interest in my targeted location part. That's the final part in the sentence. And this is important if your business is only able to target or only able to ship products or services to a certain area. Let's think about a retailer in the UK, and they can only ship because of legal or business reasons, they can only ship within UK. And if they selected the default option, then their ads will be shown to anywhere on earth, to any user that's using google.co.uk and their keywords. And because they cannot ship to those countries, they might be losing out money on these clicks. And vice versa, this will be very helpful for those advertisers, for example, for travel clients whose user target audience could be anywhere on earth, but going to visit that country. It is very important that they select a default location targeting. For example, as in this example, I could be looking for hotels and to get early booking discount in Turkey, and I'm based in Ireland. I'm searching for early booking hotels, and I see all these ads. I can click on them and complete the booking from Ireland. And this will be very helpful for these advertisers. They will be generating additional profits and revenue from outside of Turkey. This is the setting, location options, advanced location options, where you can change the location targeting. The first one is the default one, so for all campaigns it is selected automatically. And if the business that you're working with can only ship or legally obliged to service within a physical location, then you should be selecting people in my targeted location. On the other hand, if you selected people in my targeted location for businesses that can ship goods outside of that country, then you should select the first one. And finally, language targeting is about the language of the Google user interface on search. It's not about the website or the language of the websites the user visited in the last 30 days. No, it is not. It is only and only the user interface language of the Google search. In this case, you can see web, görseller, videolar. That affects. For non-English partners that are listening right now, I suggest you add English to the language setting, because with some or many internet browsers, when you type a search on their search boxes, usually if the user did not change it, and many users, I think they don't change it, default to google.com and English. Google.com redirects in different countries outside US, redirects to that country's domain. For example, in France, even if the setting is google.com, the system, Google system, redirects the traffic to google.fr. But the language piece stays as English, because that is a user-generated language option, and user has to change that. Because user doesn't change it, with that search, the traffic goes to google.fr, but the language stays as English. If your campaign is targeting only France and French, but not English, then your ad will not be shown to that user. How prevalent is that? Well, it is not that much. It's not too much, but maybe 5 to 10% of the traffic that we're talking about here. It's always a good idea to add that, and you're not losing anything because you're still targeting your own keywords, the keywords that you selected, but showing on to those users who have their user interface in English language. Okay, account structure best practices. I think you all know about this account structure. We have an account, campaigns, and ad groups. The difference between a campaign and an ad group is you can set budgets for campaigns, but you cannot for ad groups. And the difference between, or the reason for creating an additional ad group is to group the keywords so that you can group similar keywords and maybe the same keywords with different variations in one ad group and write ad texts that include those most important words in the headline. This is what you should do at the same time. You should be grouping the same or similar keywords in different ad groups and writing the most important word or keywords in the headline so that it will gather more attention and increase your CTRs and conversions. The different thing I'm going to tell you today, is it's about when you realize one ad group is performing the best or in a much better way than the other ad groups. And for example, let's take SLR cameras, in this case, is performing much better than compact cameras. And because they are both using the same budget that campaign 2 is using, and in this example, let's assume compact cameras is taking up most of the budget. And the budget of the campaign is ending around 2 p.m. or at noon, let's say. And that will have an impact, negative impact on SLR cameras because SLR cameras is using the same budget. Because it is stopping at 2 p.m., SLR cameras will not be shown after 2 p.m. and you will not be getting additional conversions because of ad group 1, compact cameras. The best way to solve that is bring ad group 2 and create a separate campaign for itself with its own daily budget so that it will be free from any limitation, any budget limitation or any limitation that other ad groups in campaign 2 brings. If you create a separate campaign for ad group 2, then you can also group its keywords separately, and you can achieve even better CTRs and much more conversions. In this case, we have an ad group for SLR cameras, generic words, another ad group for brand X cameras, such as Minolta SLR cameras, and another one you can have Nikon SLR cameras. And instead of showing a generic SLR cameras in the headline, it would have a much greater impact if you show Nikon cameras for the Nikon ad group and Minolta cameras in the headline for Minolta ad group. You can also add different keywords such as SLR camera deals and everything. So you will achieve much better results with separating the good performing ad groups. In addition to that, another best practice is to use your brand terms. You can separate these brand terms in different ad groups with the brand term itself, and if let's say your brand term is XYZ, you can create different ad groups combine them with your products or services. In one ad group, you can say XYZ cameras, another one XYZ LED TVs, and so on and so forth. As in the previous best practice, you can also take one of these ad groups that you created. Let's say after you create this 1 month later, you realize that XYZ LED TVs ad group is performing the best. It has conversion rates that's skyrocketing. You can take this out from its existing campaign, create its own campaign, just one campaign, one ad group, that's fine, so that you will set it free. You will liberate it from any limitation that the main campaign is generating. Usually we hear some objections on advertising on brand keywords, but first I'll tell you the advantages and touch on some of the objections that we hear and the reality about that. First of all, brand keywords bring you the highest quality traffic because those users that are searching with your brand keywords are at nearest the conversion action. Imagine people searching for Booking.com or Amazon.com. They know what these companies are doing, and they probably have a decision to buy something, or at least they're going to compare prices, look at their prices. They are in the funnel and at the lower end of the purchasing funnel. And working with many accounts until so far, we have seen that the brand keywords has the both highest quality score and highest conversion rate and lowest CPCs and lowest CPAs at the same time. Another advantage is you will be getting incremental traffic that cannot be recovered via organic search results. Sometimes, very few in the recent years. In the past, we were hearing this objection much more often, but recently not often, because I think many agencies and advertisers understood the importance of advertising on brand keywords. Google did a study on this. It is called Search Ads Pulse Studies, and you can type this on Google and go to the Think with Google website, and my colleague Dylan will pop this out in the comments box, the link. Google did this study, scientific study, with 400 accounts and in 4 different countries, and what we found out was if your ads are appearing on the top slot in organic search results, and if you stop your ads, you're going to be losing 50% of your traffic from your brand keywords. If your ad is in an organic position of 5 or lower, you're going to be losing at 96% of ad clicks. That may sound a bit dramatic, but I really suggest you go to this Think with Google website and read this study and its details so that you can see the overall impact. Google incorporated a report called Paid and Organic Report. You can find it under Dimensions tab. And if you link your Webmaster Tools account with your AdWords account, you can see how many impressions and clicks your ads appeared on Google organic search results, and at this paid results, you can see them separately. And you can see them if they appeared both at the same time, how much clicks ads generated and how many clicks the organic results generated. It's a great tool that you can see and compare the additional benefit of ads and advertising on brand keywords. Other advantages, being able to edit and control your messaging. As you know, on organic search results, it's automatically generated by Google, and you cannot control your messaging. You cannot control how it will look like on organic search results. But with Google AdWords, you can write whatever you want, as long as they're compliant with the policies, of course, and you can highlight your offers, you can highlight your discounts and everything. 3-line site links, which provide you with great real estate, great space on the search results, they are most likely to appear only on brand terms. And I haven't seen any 3-line site links appearing with generic product or service terms, but they are most likely to appear only on brand terms. And the other one is much larger space, as I said, on search results, and this will definitely have an impact. This has a branding impact on the user and some psychological impact as well, in addition to driving more traffic to your website. And when you think about it, when it's combined with 3-line site links, with especially the site links with additional details, you will be consuming all of the space in one screen along with your organic listing. You can show your offers when there are other ads from other companies on your brand terms. You can showcase your offers, your discounts and everything, so that you will not be losing out in competition. Brand terms, last but not least, as I said, they have usually highest quality score, and they have the lowest average CPCs and CPAs. So you're getting all these benefits for the lowest average CPC and lowest CPA. I have an example here. It is with Booking.com. I guess everybody knows what Booking.com is. and they are, I think we can call them as online giants, and they are branding on their own brand terms, even if they appear at the top slot in organic search results. And as you can see, they take all of the space in my monitor, and they also have a card for their Google Plus page, and there's no way that a user will probably not click and go. It's most likely they will be ending up on Booking.com's website, not going through another company. Okay, now we are at keywords and search terms best practices. I guess you all know what a keyword is, what the keyword match types are, and how to run a search terms report, so I'm not going to spend time on that, but I want to draw your attention to broad match versus broad match modifier. I've seen in many accounts that they have been using broad match only, and these accounts have limited budgets and very performance oriented, but even though this is the case, they were still using broad match. And that's why in this performance Hangouts, I would like to emphasize the importance of using broad match modifier. Take this example. You see the advertiser using is Marbella hotels with broad match. And when I clicked on details, search terms, and the selected keyword, I see those search terms appearing. And these search terms are sorted according to impressions. And I can tell you the first one here, Marbella, Spain, has the highest number of impressions, clicks, and costs, but very little conversions. Its CPA was astronomically high. The reason is expanded broad match. It's a feature of broad match, and where Google AdWords system shows synonyms and shows your ads on the synonyms of your keyword if you're using broad match. From a user point of view, we can think that a user that's searching for Marbella hotels could be interested in Marbella, Spain, where to go in Marbella, which places to visit, which restaurants to eat at, and everything. However, from a business point of view, from a return on investment, from a performance point of view, it is not the best or the right search term, because this company wants people to book hotels in Marbella. This company does not want to behave like Wikipedia and give information for free, and it's not their business. So that is why they realized that this keyword is costing a lot of money and not bringing any returns. They decided to exclude it. In order for this not to happen in your accounts, if your companies are not very tolerant about discovering new keywords or new search terms, then I suggest starting with broad match modifier, so that with their limited budgets, they will be reaching out to the correct people and correct users. When it comes to all keywords and running a search terms report for an all account, for all the campaigns in an account, we press this button and search terms all. Then we might see search terms, the same search term, happening a few times or several times in duplicate forms. It could be from different ad groups or from different campaigns. If this is the case, this usually happens for medium to large accounts that might have many keywords related to this root word. And in this case, I suggest you download the whole search term report into an Excel file and make a pivot table. In the pivot table, you're going to select search term, impressions, clicks, costs, conversions, and then you can copy and paste as values into another sheet, then write your own formula. In one column, you can create a column for CPA for each pivot table combined search term. And what you're going to do is cost divided by conversions. You're going to do the formula in Excel, and you can also calculate the conversion rate per each search term, so that it will be easier for you to see one search term in one line and its performance, so that you can have a better understanding. It will make your life easier and much faster analysis of search terms by looking at one place. And you will be able to filter some of these keywords to look at all search terms that include a specific term in the whole account. And you will be able to calculate their sum of costs and sum of conversions and have an idea of what search terms are performing good and which ones bad. Okay, finally, we have our checklist. Make broad match modifier your first choice. I'm talking about the plus sign, and add this plus sign in front of all keywords, not just one keyword, but all keywords. This way, you will be knowing by peace of mind that the impressions and clicks you see next to your keyword will include, it is including all these terms in the user query. Because the plus sign, it means it's telling to the system that show my ads only in those queries that include my keywords. In the Marbella Hotels example, if the user typed in Marbella Hotels and any other keyword and the order is not important, the ads will be shown. But if the query does not include Marbella or hotels, both, if you add the plus sign both, then the ad will not be shown. So it is important to add plus sign in front of all keywords. Add all relevant and missing search terms as keywords into relative ad groups. What we mean by that is when you discover new search terms, if they are very relevant to existing search terms in the ad group that contains that word in the ad headline, it's okay to add them to the existing ad group. But if you can write a different ad text and especially a different ad headline, then I suggest you create another ad group and add this search term as keyword and write another ad text with the headline including this search term, so that you will boost your CTRs and conversions. And if you want to discover new queries, if you're not budget limited, you can of course go ahead with the broad match. You don't have to use broad match modifier, but I'm assuming that most of our advertisers are budget limited and they want to get more performance and everything, so that's why make BMM, broad match modifier, the first choice. And if you discover new and related queries, as I said, create a new ad group with the new ad text. Campaign level keywords will help you save time. Instead of adding each negative keyword into each ad group, you only need to add the negative keyword at the campaign level and it will impact all ad groups underneath. There's no expansion or synonym expansion or with the feature name expanded broad match type of thing in negative keywords. There's no such thing. So you need to add all possible negative keywords, all variations, for example, plurals, for example, hotel, hotels, all these variations. If you want to add them as negative, you need to add all these variations in as the negative keywords. The system will not assume or expand into plurals or different suffixes and everything. You need to add them. All right, ad text best practices on search. We have an example query of buy Samsung Galaxy S5 on google.co.uk. And I'm going to cover my suggestions on a live example on this screenshot. First, use numbers. This is very, very important. When you use numbers, it will create a sense of trust on the user and it will give a kind of sense of certainty and what to expect. And there might be other reasons that maybe there needs to be a research on that, but it has a profound effect on the CTR and conversions. It doesn't have to be a price. It can be a discount, or as you can see, even in this example, 16 gigabytes. It is a number. It is still a number. And of course, if it is a price or discount, that will have even more impact. So try to use numbers and try to use them in your headline. Next one is call to action. Call to action not only drives action, but also it tells the user what to expect after they click and go to your website. For example, in the first one, it says buy Galaxy S5 handset now for $329. So the user knows that it's not a generic information giving site, but they can actually buy Galaxy S5 from this website. And if they're thinking about buying it, and if the other ads do not have such call to action items, then the user will probably click on this ad and go and buy. The other ads also contain this order now, so users know what to expect. Site links. At the top, you can see two-line site links. In the other ads, you see one-line site links. They are, first of all, they increase the space of your ad. Your ads look bigger. and there's no additional cost associated with any site links or any features I have talked about and I am going to talk about for ads. There's no additional cost at all. You only pay for clicks as usual, and you will be showing additional offers with your ads. With one ad in the past, you were able to show only or give message about only one product, for example, in this case, Galaxy S5, but now giftgaff.com is showing their offers or their product range as Galaxy S4, they have S3 and other products. In this site link one, I suggest you add at least 6 site links per campaign if you can. As you know, with site links policy, you have to have a different destination URL per site link and different than your ad's main destination URL. If you can, if you have different site links, try to have at least 6 site links, because sometimes Google may show 2 or 3 line site links. And in that case, you will be having more space and you will be showing more offers. I've seen many campaigns that have 1 or 2 site links, and this is not something that we recommend. I mean, it's not the best. Try to have at least 6. Here we have a relatively new feature called callout extensions. The difference between callout extensions and site links is that callout extensions cannot be clicked, and they can be used for, instead of site links, they are used for showing more generic offers. For example, instead of consuming your site link for an offer that's applicable to all products, in this case, free-day delivery. They have free-day delivery for all of their products. So why consume a site link for that? They can use their site links for different products, different offers, something else. But they can use, in the ads, we can use callout extensions for the offers or discounts or anything that we have for all of our product range or service. Look at the callout extensions here. They, in this case, for Galaxy S5, all S5s have Android 4.4.2 KitKat. All S5s have 21-hour battery life. Instead of writing in and using site link for that, it's much better to showcase other products. And I would probably add prices as well if I were going to write this ad. So definitely use callout extensions, and when using them, try to think about the general offers that you have for all of your product or service range, so that you will be using your site links with different offers. Now we have longer ad headlines or display URL edition. This works, longer ad headlines works by if Google thinks that the description line 1 and headline can be read as a complete sentence, then Google system takes the description line 1, puts it next to ad headline. And if it cannot do this, it will take your display URL, put it next to the ad headline. This is to improve the user experience, and based on experiments, we have seen that this is a better experience for the users. They will know what type of domain that they are going, or what type of domain this result is from. And if the query includes the brand term of the company that is advertising, in this case Samsung.com, it takes the display URL to the beginning of the headline. As you can see in the second text, Samsung.com is at the left, at the beginning. In this case, I have a suggestion. I recommend you write your display URL with the capital letter. Not all of the letters are capitalized. This is against the policy, but start your first letter as capitalized. In the third ad, you can see Vodafone. The first letter V is capitalized, but at the first ad, giffgaff, it is not capitalized and it's showing as small. It is not the most impactful thing on earth, but still it looks better, and it might have even tiny positive impact on your ads and could have a branding effect. And we have review extensions. These are extensions that are automatically generated, that you cannot write them yourself, but you can opt in under your Add Extensions tab. You can opt in for it, you can activate them, and if there is any trusted provider, trusted third party that Google is working with has some reviews about you, then Google may show these reviews as an additional line. And this is also absolutely free. Here we have social extensions. Again, this is not a manual one. You cannot write it yourself. It is automatically generated. And it has some conditions that for it to show. The first one is the business has to have a Google Plus business page, and they need to link it with their AdWords accounts. And there are some other rules for that to appear. For that, you can check social extensions on AdWords. You can search it on Google, and you will see the requirements for that. And I think that's it. Yes, and we have finally one very important point, which is ad rotation setting. This is not normally added to your user interface. Under a campaign settings, you need to go to the all settings section, and you need to add it manually. It is called ad rotation. If you have your AdWords campaigns open, you can actually apply these suggestions and run these reports. I wanted to make this Hangouts a very practical one. I hope you can do and implement them immediately. So about ad rotation. Ad rotation is the setting, how it determines which ads Google is going to show from any ad group that has 2 or more ad creatives, ad texts. And this applies to search and display. And when there are 2 or more creatives for a keyword that's being searched, if you choose optimize for clicks, Google will select the ad that has a higher CTR for that particular keyword. If you select optimize for conversions, system will look at CTR times conversion rate and its result. Google will look at its result and pick the ad that has a higher CTR times conversion rate result. If you select rotate evenly, it will show ads evenly without looking at any performance data for 90 days, and then optimize based on clicks, based on CTR. If you select rotate indefinitely, it's not going to look at anything at all indefinitely and just rotate ads. For performance and for maximizing profitable conversions, we recommend you choose optimize for conversions, because the system will look at both CTR, taking into effect the quality score, and conversion rate, the ad, the creative piece that is generating more conversions, and it will show that ad more often. And we cannot always assume or know in advance which ads users will like and convert on. We cannot know that. It's best to write different copies, different styles of creatives, using maybe different offers on each, and let the system decide. Let the users decide on which ones they want to get converted upon. And AdWords system will pick the best creative to show. One common objection to that point, selecting optimize for conversions, especially from agencies, is that they say they are worried that when they add new creatives, the system will not take them into account because they do not have any CTR history or conversion history, so they will not be shown forever. But don't worry, our engineers have already thought about that, and even at the beginning, they incorporated a solution for that. So when you add new creatives to an ad group, even if how many impressions, millions or billions of impressions the other existing ad text had, our system gives chance to new creatives. And it gives chance for certain number of impressions. In total, it's going to make statistically significant amount of volume of impressions, and then our system will look at each ad text, each new creative's CTR and conversion rate, and if they are good, the system will continue showing these ads. If they are not good anyway, and they have to be stopped, and their serving will be slowed down and or maybe stopped. But don't worry that new additions to an ad group will not be shown. This is not true. They will be shown, and our system will show in a balanced way and continuously until we have a statistically significant opinion about these new ads. So for all cases, for new campaigns where any creative doesn't have any conversion history, the system will look at only CTR. When we have statistically significant amount of data for conversions, then the system will start taking the conversion data into account. So with peace of mind, you can choose this optimize for conversion settings for all your new campaigns and existing campaigns, and let the system decide which ad to show. Ad text tips checklist. Use numbers. This is very important. Add call to action so that users will know what to expect. Site links and callout extensions and any other extension that you can opt in and use them. Try for longer headlines. The trick for that is add a full stop to the end of description line 1 and try to make them a meaningful sentence. The ad headline and the description line 1, judge it yourself and try to make them think about how it's going to be a full sentence and how you should write it. Then add a full stop at the end or an exclamation mark. Then you will increase the chances that it's going to show in a longer headline. Display URL, capitalize the first letter of the display URL to get more attention. That is important. And for mobile devices, very important, create several different mobile preferred ad texts. And on those ad texts, write mobile emphasis words. For example, book your hotel from our mobile website today, or book this or rent this car from your mobile today, so that you will let the user know that you have a mobile site and they will be having a good experience on your mobile website. Set ad rotation setting to conversions, and don't worry, we will take new creatives into account always, and use the most relevant landing page, obviously. Now we have bid optimization, and we might ask, what is it about bid optimization? Before we go into that, I need to make another exercise and show you search ad slots. Let me remind you about this. This is the top slot for ads. It's above organic search results. And this slot is called right-hand side ads, or RHS. Now comes a pop quiz. What is the position of this ad for this particular impression? There are no tricks. We don't have any ads at the top slot above organic search results, but we have ads only at the right-hand side. And I'm asking the position of this ad for this impression. I ask this question in my trainings, and because I'm getting mostly the wrong answers, I like keep asking this question again and again. Let's see the answer. It is 1. Many people say that the position of this ad is 4. However, this is not true. And when I ask them, why do you think this is 4? Because they say, well, because position number 1 is for the top right, for the top ad, right, at the top slot. Second one is at the top slot. Third one, well, it is not true. It is very simple. The first ad that appears on any slot gets number 1. So it is not very true, or it's not very correct to look at the average position, and if it says 2.3, for example, and coming to the conclusion that, oh, my ads have appeared at the top slot. Yay, that's great, because it's 2.3. Well, it is not true, because the numbers are not associated with or assigned to any slot. In the next one, and here you see the ad positions for other ads. In this one, we have bottom page ads. There are no ads at the top slot or on the right-hand side. There are only 2 ads in the search query, as you can see, and they are at the very bottom of the Google search results page. And the position is 1 for the top 10 family Blackpool for top10.com, and position is 2 for family hotel in Blackpool headline. Which means that if you're looking at your position on the user interface, and if it says 1.8, for example, it doesn't mean that your ads have appeared at the top slot. Sometimes we get the question, hey, my ad position on average is 1.8. Why my CTR is 1 in 1,000? It's because your ads have probably appeared at the bottom of the page as bottom page ads, or on the right-hand side. So there is only one way to see if your ads have appeared on the top or not. Only one way, and it is not the average position at all. So I suggest don't look at the average number, average position from the second anymore. The only place that you can see it is from segment button, top versus other report. This is a very, very useful report. It gives you great insights, and it can have a profound effect on maximizing your conversions, as we will see in the next example. Top versus other report works at the campaign, ad group, and keyword level, if you want to see and analyze at these levels. Here's an example of a top versus other report. I've highlighted Google search, top and other. Other means right-hand side or bottom page ads. Top means top, it's top of organic search results. If you look at the impressions in this example, the advertiser has received close to 1 million more impressions on the other side, but they received about 16 times more clicks at the top. So to repeat, 1 million more impressions, about 16 times more clicks. When you look at the conversions, and they're converted clicks, by the way, here, they received about 15 times more converted clicks. They received around 12,000 conversions from the top slot, but only 800 from the other slot, even though they received 1 million more impressions at the other. The difference is huge. The impact is unbelievable. When you look at the CPA, because many people think that if the ad position goes to top, the CPCs will increase a lot and the CPAs will go much higher. That is not true. When you look at this large, statistically significant example, and I see even better performances in many more accounts, you can see that the CTR is way different. It is 15 times higher on average for all accounts. On the average figures, the CTR is 15 times higher on the top slot. And surprisingly, conversion rate increases as well. We may question this why, because it's the user clicking and going to the website anyway, but why the conversion rate is higher, I don't have an exact answer for that. I think a research would be a great idea for that, but the top ads impact user behavior. It might be due to the large volume or a branding impact, but it is definitely affecting the conversion rate positively. Let's look at the CPA. The CPA is a bit, I think, 1.5 times higher when you look at it, but the number of conversions is a bit around 15 times higher at the top slot. The CPA is not 15 times higher, or the average CPC is not 15 times higher, but conversions are, on average, at least 15 times or more. They are usually, if you assume the same conversion rate, it increases at the rate which CTR increases. In this case, it's 15 times more CTR. So you get a huge volume of conversions from the top and to a comparable CPA to the other slot. And in order to grow your business, you should be appearing at the top. Let's look at the search partners example at the bottom. When you look at here, the CPA at the top is less than the other CPA. And almost in half of the accounts, maybe 50% of the accounts, I see this is happening. For Google search, I'm talking about Google search, at the top, CPA is less than the other. Because when you think about logically, intuitively, that doesn't make sense, but when you think about it, it's cost divided by conversions, right? Your cost, on average, is increasing maybe around 30% or 50%. But your conversions are increasing at 15 times, 1,600% or something like that. So the impact on the denominator, the increase is huge, much larger than the increase in the denominator. So when you divide them, the division is much less. So that is why CPA at top is less than the other. And you're getting much more, 15, 20 times more conversions. So this is the way to grow your business. Google search top is the place to be there. And you should try your keywords at the top slot in order to see their impact. And how are we going to get our keywords to the top slot? Is by, at the Keywords tab, under Customize Columns button, you need to go to Attributes, and there you will see Estimated Top of the Page Bid. You need to add that, and then you will see corresponding estimated top page bids for each keyword. I recommend adding maybe 20 to 30% more of this, because this estimated top page width is for the exact version of this keyword for each one. If you're using broad match or broad match modifier, you will have some variations, and it might be less than top page width for maybe 1 cent or 2 cents, and you probably wouldn't want to lose top slot for 1 cent. So that's my method, but you can choose however you want. And I usually use 20 or 30% more than top of the page width. You can download this table to an Excel file and create your own column and formulas. And in AdWords editor, you can change all of these thousands of keywords, maximum CPCs in just 5 seconds. AdWords editor is very useful for that. The question is, would you prefer a $20 or a $30 CPA? I can feel that all of you are saying $30 CPA, right? Yes, you're all correct. Because when we fixate on a lower CPA, and we always say, oh, I want a lower CPA, lower CPA, lower CPA, our average position drops. I'm talking very general now. And in this example, we have an average position 4, we get 100 conversions, and you see the sales price and cost of units, and we have an ROI of 5 to 1 and total profit around 16,000. When we increase our target CPA, let's say to 30, our average position improves. We get to top slot, to position 3, and our conversions increase in this case 3 times. On average, if we think about conversion rate as, if we take it as the same at top versus other, if CTR increases 15 times, your conversions will go up 15 times, not even 3 times. But let's keep it as increasing small number in 3 times. And in this case, sales price is the same, unit cost is the same, and ROI drops. However, because your volume is increasing, your total profit increases to 3 times. You may get less return on investment per transaction, but additional volume of conversions will bring you much more total profit. And this is what we should be going after. If we see it in a graphical way, as you increase the CPA, it is your profit per conversion is of course decreasing per transaction, but due to the increased volume and the volume is increasing in an exponential way, you will be making more profits. And you have to find the point where you're making the most profit and maximum number of volume of conversions that are profitable, because after a certain tipping point, your profits start to decline. So I'm not saying go for the highest CPA or go for the first position. No, try to find your best sweet spot for the maximum total profit. And it doesn't matter you appear on first position or second or third, but try to be at the top slot on above organic search results. Now we have bidding tips checklist. Use top versus other analysis from the segment button to see the performance on Google top versus Google other. Try to be on top of organic search results as you can, as your budget and everything allows. And in order to decide on a keyword's performance, test it on top slot. Just by looking at a keyword and without analyzing its top versus other report and looking and saying, oh, its CTR is just 1%, let's pause it. Don't do that. Because first check top versus other. If it appeared mostly on the other, in general, at Google, right-hand side, CTR is around 1%. But at the top, it goes around 10 to 15% on average. Of course, that changes from vertical to vertical and everything, but that's a very generalized number. So analyze that keyword, those keywords that you want to pause or continue with its top versus other, and then decide if majority of the impressions happened at the right-hand side or bottom, give them a higher bid, their top page bid, test them on the top slot for 1 week or 2 weeks or a month, and then decide if it's performing good for you or not. After you settle down into the top positions, which means that for me, I take it around 80% of impressions appearing at the top. This is how I call it settling down. Then automate your returns by Conversion Optimizer. Conversion Optimizer will adjust your bids automatically by looking at 200 plus signals from users. It will look at the user's browser, location, the last 30 days, type of web pages they visit, and everything, around 200 signals, and optimize your bids automatically. But first, you need to manually optimize your keywords, creatives, and bids in order to get the most out from Conversion Optimizer later in the development of the account. And we're getting to the end. in order to make everything easy, we have a tab called Opportunities tab. I'm sure you have seen this, but probably not clicked on it. If you click on it, you will see recommendations and suggestions generated by the Google system automatically and in a customized way for the specific account that we're talking about. And those recommendations include missing site links, the campaigns missing site links, longer headlines where you can change something, add a full stop, and then it will become longer headlines, or campaigns that are missing negative keywords, different bid adjustments that you can make, missing top of the page bids, new keywords that you can add, and any budget limitations that limiting the performance of your campaigns. I really suggest that you use this Opportunities tab. I'm sure you can find some useful information out there to implement immediately and practically. That's all for me. I hope you liked this Hangouts on Air, and I hope you will be able to implement some of the suggestions I made, and that these will have great positive impact on your campaigns. Please submit your feedback through the comment section and let us know what you think, and for any feedback for the future we can take it on. Thank you very much and have a great day.